Hello everyone, welcome back to DSP versus the Internet, episode 37 for November 5th, 2023. Although if you're watching, you may be wondering, does it really feel like November when we're watching Halloween-themed stuff? Again, my apologies that I was so sick last week we missed the show. This is the makeup show for that. And then I promise you next week we'll be back into more pertinent topics. But in the meantime, let's continue on with the Ultra member submissions for the week. I think the next one is a throwback Left 4 Dead gameplay of mine. It is.
Hello. Hello.
I'm trying to talk to people. Back when people would always have their mics enabled on Xbox Live whenever you tried to play a game. Not anymore.
Hey, who's the host? Start the game.
Public lobby. Killed you quick 4930. This is only 15 years later. Hurry up and start the lobby. You're holding us all up here on the show. How are people able to watch your videos with the sideways screen? Because they did. Back then on YouTube, there was no standard of anything. A lot of people were watching...
This is connecting to game.
Not high-def stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this kind of video wasn't uncommon back in the day. This was me with a 480p camera pointing crooked at my HD TV recording gameplay. And this is how people watch me play stuff for like a year.
Aww.
Yeah.
What is that, music? That's what I want.
My original gameplay.
Oh, great. Someone left the game already.
So when someone would leave the game, it would create an AI character who would control that person during the campaign, and then if someone else joined late, they would fill in for that spot.
Oh, they come fucking fast.
Left 4 Dead 1 still looks good. It seriously still looks good, doesn't it? It does.
Get the Molotov. Where is it? What the fuck? Oh, you assholes! God damn.
They spawned at the edge there. Yes, this game ran at I want to say it ran at 60 frames on the 360. It did. This is one of the games that did run at 60 frames on the Xbox 360. Yep.
That is a lot of fucking
zombies. See? So the guy who's replaced by another player. So now a new person dropped in and now they're playing with us.
Already? Oh no, you got mauled. Look at that. This is the very beginning of this campaign. We just started.
Called Blood Harvest. So this is the one where you're on the farm. This is my first time playing,
so I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm just following you guys.
This way.
How do you zoom? Can you zoom in? What the fuck? I guess you can't do it with certain guns.
So if you're wondering, because I'm talking with them, I had the old Xbox wireless headset, which was an earpiece you would put in your ear, and you would only hear the people talking through the headset. You couldn't hear it through your speakers. So I could hear them talking to me, and I could talk back to them. But the people watching the video couldn't hear them communicating because it wouldn't play through the speakers.
Whoa. The fuck is that noise? Sounds like someone's throwing up. Boom. Oh shit, it's a big fat dude.
Boomer. The boomer. He went boom.
Pain pills, huh? What the fuck? Who's hitting me? I didn't even see this dude. He's in the dark. Pain pills.
That's it. Yeah, Back for Blood, sadly, was this group's attempt, and they're called Turtle Rock Studios. It was their attempt to make this again, and it failed. Because remember, they made this, then they made the sequel a year later, and both games were outstanding. And people loved them, they sold tons or whatever, and then all of a sudden they just vanished. Everyone was like, what happened to this studio? So they were tasked to make a team survival game that ended up being called Evolve, and ended up being one of the most rip-off nickel and dime games ever made. It was very poorly received due to the insane amount of DLC and crap you had to keep putting money into, and had bare bones content. So, and that was on the Xbox One, and it failed. So then after that, they went back to the drawing board. They made Back for Blood, and it was supposed to be the sequel to this, and that failed too. So I don't know what's going to happen to that company now. Malls and video games.
If you ever see a Forever 21, an Auntie Anne's, and a Bath & Body Works store all in the same place, chances are you're at a mall. Malls were at one point the hallmark of North American consumerism, a symbol of youth, an emblem of modern
God's
life.
Heavy Rain.
But in the past few years, we've seen more and more malls die out. There's even an entire subreddit dedicated to dead malls. Seeing these places that were once filled with so much life become these desolate, abandoned dumps is honestly a little sad. You know, if I'm being honest, I'm feeling a little nostalgic for those days, checking out games I know I won't buy at GameStop, grabbing a sweet treat at Dippin' Dots, and spending endless hours with my
I never
mom
had
shopping
Dippin'
in
Dots. I wonder if they're any
JCPenney.
good.
So,
Never had
let's
it.
look at some malls and video games. Now,
Oh, that was Persona,
you really
wasn't it?
can't talk about malls and video games without talking about Coconut Mall from Mario Kart. The track
What?
starts off at the
Oh,
entrance
it's
to
not
the
really a mall,
As
it's
you
just a
make your way
racing
into
track.
the mall, you're greeted by one of the most signature parts of any mall, the escalators. One is going up and the other is going down, meaning if you aren't looking carefully, you can end up wasting your time trying to go up the down escalator. As you cruise through the inside, you can see a ton of shops on the sides of the track, like a cafe, an ice cream shop, and a grocery store. Of course, you've got
This is the one on
another
the
mall
Wii?
staple, the fountain, which you can do a trick
This is
over
the
and
Wii or the
possibly grab an
DS?
item box. After riding down these cool-looking steps with see-through holes, you make it to the Coconut Gardens, the outdoor portion of the
This
mall.
looks like the
Here you
DS
get to
version,
really
no?
see how bright and tropical this place is. Eventually, you make your way back inside for a few seconds before jumping off of this crazy tall ramp into the parking lot. The most realistic part of this map is that the parking lot is the most annoying part of this track. You've got these three Miis just going back and forth for no reason in the parking lot.
The
If
fucking
you time
cars
it
in the
right,
way.
you
This
can
is the
move
Wii
past
version?
them and
Okay.
potentially get a burst of speed from one of the boost pads. After one last sharp turn, you finally finish the track. Coconut Mall has become one of the most iconic tracks in the Mario Kart
All right, I don't care about. He's still talking about it too. Ah,
act of
Persona.
buying people's
Persona
love and
has
affection
multiple
with
malls.
expensive
All the different
gifts.
Personas
This
have a
mall
mall.
is visually really cool. I love all of the banners, lights, and decorations. What would otherwise be a pretty boring looking flea market is filled with modern flair. When it comes to malls and Persona games though, Paulonia Mall from Persona 3 is the first one I always think of. The
Yeah.
fact that you can go here at night is a huge plus. There's a ton of stores you can go to, like a coffee shop where you can improve your charisma, a drugstore where you can buy healing
What's up with
items,
his color?
and
His
a police
colors are
station where
off.
you can buy guns.
You notice
The
that?
one thing that always pissed me off though was that you can't go into the music store. It's the one place that you can't choose to go into. Only certain social link hangouts let you stop inside. It would have been really cool if you could like buy music from the music store and replace the songs that play in specific areas like the map theme or the Iwatodai dorm theme. Your character wears headphones. That's like one of the most iconic
He wears headphones. He can't buy music. Left 4, or not Left 4 Dead. Heavy Rain.
Jason's birthday is today, and he's turned 10 years old. After an intense sword fighting battle, Ethan and his family decide to go to a mall. Grace goes with Sean to buy shoes while Ethan hangs out with Jason. Ethan buys a balloon for Jason from a terrifying looking clown, but when he
World's
turns around
creepiest
after
fucking
handing the
clown.
clown the cash, Jason is gone. Thus begins one of the most infamous scenes in all of gaming history.
Jason! 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 Jason!
As you look for Jason in this crowded mall, you can repeatedly spam the X button to call Jason. And there's only like 3 different voice lines of Ethan calling Jason's name, so it gets really repetitive really quick. And what makes it even worse is that Ethan doesn't even sound all that concerned.
Jason!
Eventually, Ethan does track down Jason, but Jason, in his infinite wisdom, decides to run across the street without looking both ways first. A car nearly hits him, but luckily Ethan manages to shield Jason by jumping in front of the car and taking the blow. Somehow, even though Ethan managed to shield Jason,
Right.
even though it looked like the car wasn't going any faster than like 30 miles per hour, even though you can hear the car slowing down before it hits Ethan, Jason ends up dying.
Right, how does that
from
make
the
any
car
sense?
accident. This unfortunately causes a rift in Ethan and Grace's marriage. They divorce, and somehow Ethan ends up living with Sean, who also has grown emotionally distant from Ethan in this rundown place in the middle of not Philadelphia. It's really easy to make fun of this game, from the uncanny models to the bad voice acting to how dumb the story could be at times, but this is honestly a really tragic scene. Losing your kid in a large crowd is a fear I'm sure plenty of parents have, and obviously your kid dying is just horrific.
Doesn't make any sense.
Heavy rain has
So wait, the kid, I get it now. Now that we're watching this back so many years later, I get it. Actually, the kid would have been fine. It was the sheer force of him jumping and grabbing him. He snapped his body and murdered him in his own arms, trying to save him from the vehicle, you see? That's why it's so tragic. If he had just let him get hit by the car, he would have had like a bump and a scrape. But because he grabbed him so hard, he snapped every bone in his body and turned him into a big pile of gelatin. That's what happened. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I know that's so confusing, because I remember when I first played the game, I didn't think that he had died. I thought, oh, maybe he's hurt or whatever. It looks like he saved him, and he's dead. It's like, what? He's dead? He's fucking dead? How?
shopping mall that's an absolute blast to fly around in. Not to mention being able to pilot
Kingdom
the
Hearts?
super cool
Oh, wow.
routes to the classic North Point Mall from GTA Vice
Ah.
City in all of its low quality
Gash
JPEG
instead of
glory.
Gap.
But without a doubt, the most iconic mall in all of gaming history is the Willamette Parkview Mall.
Yeah,
in
I was just
Dead
going to say,
Rising.
they
In
gotta have Dead
you
Rising
play
in
as
here.
Frank
The whole
West,
game's
a
set in it.
photographer who's trapped inside of a zombie-infested mall. And now you have to survive for 72 hours until your helicopter pilot can come back and save you. While this mall might be swarming with deadheads, it's actually an insanely fun place to explore. There's all sorts of different places of interest, like a gym, a supermarket, and even an amusement park ride. But what makes the mall really fun is the vast amount of different weapons
so
scattered
cool.
around that you can use.
Admittedly, and the second run's better, because in the second run, you kind of understand how to play and you know where all the good stuff is. So you can just run through the mall and grab all the good stuff and just like tear through the game the second time with all your new game plus stats and everything. All right, that's it for that. Okay, on to the next video. Cool. What is this? Oh, this is supposed to be Retro Game Master Special Crossover. I have no idea what this is.
どうも桜井正宏です。今回は
Oh,
随分
okay.
雰囲気
I remember when I read the synopsis of this, I remember what it is. So this is the game developer of Smash Brothers. He did a crossover special with a longtime Japanese YouTuber, and they did like a crossover video. That's him. That's supposed to be like an old-time Japanese YouTuber who's been around for like a long time.
この間ゲーム酔いするしない方法とか僕建物の中に入ると酔うんですけど
建物の中
マリオカートでいうとテレさんのところとか建物の中を走り出すと急に酔い出すんです
なるほど
僕のこの酔った時はもうカリカリ梅食べるしかないから
3D 酔いはよくされる方なんですよ
Crunchy pickled plums? What in the hell's a crunchy pickled plum? In Japan, they make all these references like, what are you talking about, right?
するんです
Anyway, I'm trying to figure out, I think they're talking about like the history of games or something here. Sadly, I think this video is just going to be way too long. Like, this video is like 30 minutes long or something like that, like way
今回の
long.
挑戦
So
は
we can't really
スペー
watch
スイン
it.
ベーダーからの10年と称して1978年から
Yeah, see? They're going
1987 年
through
に登場し
25
たアーケード
arcade
ゲームを
games.
なんと25タイトル連
Classics.
戦
They
す
want
る
to play. It's basically, so it's the game developer who made, Sakurai who made Smash Brothers, and a longtime gaming YouTuber from Japan going through classic games. But I think it's just too long of a format for us to really enjoy it. You know what I mean?
3、
Yeah, look.
2、1、GO!
なるべく綺麗に攻撃した方がいいですよ
え、何ですか綺麗に攻撃
They're playing classics together, head to head.
うわー緊張するなこれ久しぶりにやると
I haven't played a Space Invaders game in a million years either. I played these a lot in arcades though back in the day. They were very popular. This is like the original. I was gonna say, because they had so many spin-offs that had like colors and stuff. This is like the original one.
あとなるべく追うようにした方追うようになれば迎え撃つ
Look how different they're playing. Sakurai is playing the most clean-cut version I've ever seen. He's going methodically in a row in
カウン
order,
トができないですね
while
これ
Arino
300点 UFO
is just basically shooting whatever he can shoot, right? I think Sakurai is actually doing much better with the more calculated. And then he hit the UFO for bonus points.
近いな。
大丈夫まだあります
Arino just lost his first life. The problem is, if wow, he's getting owned now.
だから列ごとにね綺麗にやってインベーダーが少なくなると左右の移動が速くなるし左右の幅が広いまま移動が速くなると侵略が近づくということです。
そんな理屈はいいですよ。
Yeah, he's dead because once they start touching the building, oh, he's done.
はい
He got beat.
嘘。
はい次行き
He
ま
sucks.
す
So this is the whole premise of the video. Like, they play a bunch of these classic games, right? Galaxian. This one I played a lot in arcades, actually, back in the day.
全然ハマんない。
いやーこれ今やると全然弾が当たらない
And this one, Arino looks better. Yeah, Arino's better at Galaxian than he is.
すげえまぐれ。
参りましたじゃあ次行きましょう
Oh, wow. 800-point bonus. Oh, this is cool. They're giving you, like, tips on the games, too, of how to perform better. It's kind of neat.
ちょっと趣向を変えてというか、海外ではどのようにゲームが進歩したのかっていう同じ年代なんですけど、アステロイドっていうのが
Asteroids. There was a certain technology used for asteroids. I can't remember exactly what it was called.
昔ゲームの方はドット絵だったじゃないですか、
It was a different kind of like
海外
rendering style for that game. All right, I like the video, but I feel like it's so like look at this. This video is like 25, 30 minutes long. It is cool. I'm sure it's fun to watch them play each other and see who has like the best score at the end, right? Look at all. See, these are the ones that I played back in the day, like Dig Dug and stuff like that. These are the ones that I played the most. Moon Patrol. I played Moon Patrol like crazy with my dad back in the day on our Atari. So, what was the last game? Oh, here's their tally. Sakurai won. Sakurai beat him. 5-4. Moon Patrol. All right, let's see what the next video is.
One of the areas that I have real concern about, just because I hear about it so often, and it wasn't an issue when I was growing up, is a lot of young guys in particular approach me because they're, based on the questions I'm getting, they're watching a lot of really intense pornography. Pornography creates a strong dopamine rush. These are very primitive pathways that in some ways can overwhelm the dopamine system. So a lot of young guys are getting all this arousal from watching other people have sex. And then they're in the real world scenario and it's like, wait, you're no longer third personing this, you're actually in this scene. and it's completely collapsing them. I don't know what the line is.
Okay, this is an interesting line of discussion, and here's why, right? We live in a world now where everything's virtual. Everything's online, right? Literally everything, every experience you have in life can be done online. I just experienced this past week where my wife and I are so sick, and we ordered all of our weekly groceries and things online, and we've never done that before. But it's possible that you can literally do just everything online now. Everything can be this way. And we've talked about how in the last decade, there's been situations where you got people, a guy in Japan, didn't he marry like an AI avatar or something crazy like that, right? So if your whole life can be online virtual, then is that hurting the human experience to the point where now people have so much that's on demand at your fingertips over the internet that the in-life experience is now being missed? That people don't even know how to handle real life situations like love because they've had such a virtual situation for so long that now they're just so hardwired to think the virtual is real and the real life is fake, right?
Have to be careful anytime we are overwhelmed with powerful images of increasing intensity. That's where you start getting into the dopamine depletion.
True.
So
and
it is also true of violence.
I was literally just going to say that. That's extremely true of violence. That as you watch more violent content as you get older, you get desensitized to violence. And it could be the same thing for everything. For sexual content, violent content, any kind of this content, the more extreme you see, that rush of, oh my God, look at the extreme, goes away, and it becomes more, you're desensitized to everything.
A lot of people, they're like excited about watching zombie apocalypse violence, plus all of that violence, sex, and everything getting poured into the same film. The question is, how strong were we driving the system? And if anyone out there is feeling underwhelmed and kind of like life is no good, etc., chances are your dopamine system has been pushed too hard. It's not
actually quite true.
I'm just talking about what I do is I look at things through the lens of biology, and in particular through neuroscience, but some other fields as well. We have to take a step back, and now knowing what we know about testosterone and dopamine and all these things, and ask, what is pornography doing to the brain? Well, first of all, it's triggering the release of dopamine, and in the short term, testosterone, by the observation of sex, not actually engaging in human contact.
Right.
It should come as no surprise that a lot of these people have trouble with romantic interactions when they do.
That's right, because now you've been exactly. I was just gonna say, wow, right in line with what I was gonna say. Conditioning. You've conditioned your mind to think that the virtual is the meaningful, real thing. So then, when you're actually presented with the real thing that you were supposed to be having all along, there's no reaction. What is this? Right?
Your brain isn't conditioned
to
respond to those. Pornography is a serious issue. And because of the way that it taps into these very primitive systems, it's as serious in my mind as some of the other drugs of abuse, like the opioid crisis. And we talked about cell phones. You ever notice that when you get on a phone and you're scrolling Instagram, it's like a lot of fun, like this stuff is cool, you're seeing people, and then sometimes you're on there and like, this doesn't feel good, but I'm doing it anyway. That's exactly how people talk about their drug use. That's exactly how people talk about alcohol use. That's exactly how people talk about gambling. You imagine this high, but the high doesn't show up, and that's you're dopamine depleted. You need to take some time away from it and then come back, and then you can enjoy it again. Now,
that's exactly how it used to feel to me in regards to competitive Street Fighter. Like, there were times when I absolutely loved playing competitive Street Fighter. I got that rush of competition and the feeling of accomplishment when you have a tough match and you win it. But if I played too much, I get burnt out. Excuse me. And it didn't matter how much I played. It didn't matter how much I traveled, how well I did or didn't do. I didn't get that level of feeling of achievement or fun back anymore. And what it was dopamine. Is the dopamine would be depleted. And what I would actually do sometimes, I would step away for competitive Street Fighter for weeks to months at a time, and then say, okay, later this year I'll get back into it again. And then I would start going back to arcades, and I would start playing with my friends again. I would start traveling again, and all of a sudden I would get that rush back again, that feeling of accomplishment and challenge, the dopamine level. It's what and everything. It's exactly the same. You got to wonder how those things have changed. When you at any moment now can boot up a competitive game, a first-person shooter or a Street Fighter game, and you could just play it online and just play, right? And you're playing people from all over the globe. Did it completely destroy the whole meaning of competition anymore? Is there no more feeling of accomplishment, of worth, of achievement? Where's that dopamine when it's not like, oh, I had to save up money, I had to practice for weeks on end, I finally went to the tournament, I played against people in this tournament I never played before, I beat them all and I won. I feel great. It was a great accomplishment. Now it's like every day you just turn on your computer, your fucking computer, you turn on your console, you just play people, and who cares, right? When everything became instant gratification, when everything became instant delivery to you over the internet in a virtual setting, it took away the meaning of earning those things over time in real life, right? How many people on planet Earth today are perfectly happy to sit at home and, like he's saying, watch porn, watch violent movies, do all this stuff, and they never have those kind of meaningful interactions in real life, that they'll never know what it is to work a sport and win at a sport and feel that meaning of accomplishment, to have a meaningful relationship with actual love and interactions with someone and having that intercourse in real life that's meaningful. None of that matters to them because they've already had the virtual. It's sad. It's sad, and I think it is. It's a situation where technology advances at such a rapid pace that as a human race, we don't sit there and evaluate it from the perspective of should we, not can we, but should we? Can we deliver all these things virtually? Should we? Because is it destroying the experience that it is to be a human, right? Are we losing the meaningfulness of life when everything is online virtual? Where is the dopamine? Where is the meaningfulness of earning something that's an accomplishment, that's a reward, that it's just instant and it's virtual and it's right now. It's messed up. So I totally understand what this, I don't know what this has to do with Jordan Peterson, because he's not even in it. But 100%, I get where this, I understand what this person's saying. Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's part 2. We still have 4 more parts to go for DSP versus the Internet, episode 37. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next part.